Good afternoon, everyone. I'm your host, Dana Jimenez Leuenberger for Los Cabos Coming Live, and episode 80 at Baja Cantina Restaurant. They invited us to record our show here, and we're very happy. It's a really nice day. And today we have a really special show because a lot of people have asked me about wedding destinations. So what I did is that I went through Facebook, the internet, and asked you. When they asked Dana, now I ask you to recommend the best in Cabo. And here we have them. I would like to introduce Adriana Dupinet, wedding and event planner about love, wedding, and events.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And very known Marco Arechiga as Minister Marcos. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you, Dana. And nice to see you, Adriana. Nice to see everybody.
Yeah, so how I was mentioning is that I went and I asked for a recommendation, and I was surprised so many people not only tagged you there, your name, but also private message me, and you said you need to meet Adriana. And this is a lot of the things that people ask me. They want to come to Cabo, they fall in love, and they want to have their wedding here. But for somebody coming from the States, Canada, or whatever part of the world, could be a little bit intimidating. How do you start, correct? Okay, so from I have some questions for you, and I would like to know, about love and wedding events. How did you start it in the wedding business planning?
So, the name of my company is about love, weddings, and events. I've been here in business for 14 years, I know, since 2004. And the way I started, it was more like, it was meant to be. I never really envisioned in my life to become a wedding planner, really never. But 15 years ago, I got a work. I was a wedding planner, and I was offered a job to coordinate weddings on an all-inclusive resort. Yes, an all-inclusive resort. So I did my first wedding. I like it, second, third, 11th. So I realized that I really like this. I really like to do this, and the reason why I like it is because I realized that this work, I was working with happy people. It was one of the most important moments in their life, and just see how happy they were. It was like the world to me. So I decided to become this not only a work, a mission. I call it a life mission, and I work for life basically.
And how do you define your company, Adriana?
Well, my company, the reason why I picked the word about love, weddings, and events is because it's really everything that it's around these events, like weddings. I do weddings and I do events too, but most of my clients look for me for weddings. Is because it's really love everywhere. Everybody's happy because you're getting married. Sure. Everybody's happy because you're starting a new life. Everybody's happy for you. Everybody likes, I don't know, it's just like the whole mood of the planning. You're happy because you're picking your dress. So it's everything about love, really. It's just the name.
I love the name. And who would not be happy to come to Cabo, right?
Of course.
Okay, so what kind of services are the ones that you offer?
I do have different packages to offer based on what clients ask me to do. But basically, we do full planning when we take care of everything, every single detail from the start to the end. We do also partial planning, which is it's a different kind. It's for those brides that are super organized, and they have contacts here, and they have been here. Some of them live actually partial time, part-time here in Cabo, or know many people, So of course I love to help them too. I have this package where they only basically they plan their wedding with my guidance, and they pick their vendors, and we help them to put everything together just to make it perfect the day of the wedding. And I also have the elopement wedding packages. Elopements, for those who doesn't know what is this, is just like the couple who want to come to Cabo with their closest friends, or just the two of them, to make like just the ceremony. Sometimes it's just ceremony and dinner, or sometimes it's just ceremony. So it's a very small and intimate and special celebration, but we're happy to actually help like a wedding of 2 to 500, or I don't know, like 250 people. It's really, we like to help everybody.
And it's better to leave things in the hands of a professionals, people that are focused and looking afterward, because I know that sometimes they might say like, oh, my aunt can look after it, but the aunt is also, you also want your family to enjoy the party, right?
That's correct.
Yeah, I really think that this is really one of the most important events in your life. It needs to be perfect, and wedding planners are trained to make it perfect.
Correct.
We know how the planning needs to be. Like we guide you to the best way, so you don't get stressed. Like, of course, we don't give you all the information in the first month, because you're gonna be like super overwhelmed. Like, we know when to ask you to make decisions in order to just make the planning like smooth and perfect.
Okay, I have a question for both of you.
Sure.
Like, from all the top destinations around the world, what makes Cabo rank in the top?
Yeah, I can easily do. I mean, first of all, I'd like to say thanks to those who recommended me. Excuse me.
You have a big fan. You have a lot of fans, let me tell you.
I have a lot of fans, but a lot of them are paid, so I need to pay them their $20.
No,
So
because they didn't know who. No, don't listen to him.
when I read the hashtag Ask Dana, a lot of people started recommending me, and I have to thank everybody who actually recommended me. And you were one of the ones who actually recommended me, Adriana. Thank you.
Thank you so much for recommending me.
Thank you.
I'm
Thank
super
you.
grateful. Thank you.
Now, getting back to your question, what makes Cabo rank among the top? I am very blessed because I happen to travel and do weddings also. It's funny, but it's very hard to have a minister being brought over to do a wedding overseas, and that's happened to me several times. And when I come to the different destinations, I get to see what is happening as well. Let me tell you something. Cabo has among the top wedding vendors in the world. We do so many weddings in Cabo that it only gets better. People who work a lot, people who repeat their work every day, tend to get better. And that's what makes Cabo among the top destinations in the world.
Okay, well, there's a lot of questions, and we have an hour show because I think this is a big topic to cover, but
Huge.
also when people come and want to get married here, what would be the legal aspects that they need? And not everybody can do, because you're a registered. Tell us more about you and your credentials.
My name is Marco Arechiga. That's my real name, but I go by Minister Marco because it's easier for people to remember. My last name somehow is quite difficult to pronounce for English-speaking natives. So when I when I became a minister, I got ordained in the States. Most people have the knowledge that when you watch a movie, you can get ordained online. Sure, you can do that, and you can do a symbolic wedding. But when it comes to being legal, when it comes to registering everything to be legal, you have to have your credentials. So, for instance, if you want to have a legal wedding in Mexico, you always have to have the legal judge, the Mexican judge. No one else can do legally here in Mexico. But if you want to have your symbolic wedding here in Cabo and then go back home and get it registered and become legal, then you have to look for a minister that is with the legal credentials. How does that happen? You just bring your wedding license, and the minister that is registered, a minister that is legal, can sign it for you. And all you have to do is just go back home, go through your city hall, and then just put it in your records, and you're legally married. Now, there is a catch when you want to do legal weddings in Mexico. You have to understand that everything in Mexico is in Spanish. So therefore, you need a translator, an official translator, and the wedding certificate is going to be in Spanish. So when you go back home, whether it's Canada or the U.S. or anywhere else in the world, you have to get it apostille. So once you get it apostille, it's going to be another $350, if the least. So it's kind of tricky. I highly recommend that in order to avoid all the legalities of it, might as well get married in the States legally and then do your wedding symbolic here in Cabo. Because otherwise you're going to get your blood shots. You're going to have your blood test taken.
Do you need a blood test here in Mexico?
In order to be legally married in Mexico, you need to be here 3 legal days before you get married. You need to have witnesses that are registered. You need to have their IDs or passports. And sometimes, believe it or not, people lose their passports in town.
Oh, yes, especially on the first night. Everybody just comes in and they're so happy. Woo,
so here comes
tequilas.
The wedding day, and they ask for your ID, and you don't have any ID. That witness is no longer a valid witness. It has to be somebody with a credential, with an ID. So it has a lot of things. So I highly suggest that you do get legally married back in your hometown.
So word to the wise, just get it done over there and just have your wedding here.
Yeah, because getting legally married in Mexico, it can take a while. It can also take a while for everything to get legally back in where you come from.
And I know this program is all about love, but think about it. If love doesn't turn out to be what they thought, then they have to go through a legal process of getting divorced here and then divorce there. I'm sorry, but
no. It comes with the territory. You have to be practical, but you have to also be safe when it comes to legalities.
Okay, that's great advice.
Yeah, well, I've been doing this for a long time. And
how long?
Very long. I started in 2006.
But you can't be more than 25.
Nah. Thank you. I love you. Listen, last Sunday, I did my 8,533rd wedding in 16 years.
Oh my God, that is a lot of weddings.
No, in 13 years.
Wow, that's a huge number.
Yeah, I do a lot of weddings.
And I know that you have such a lively personality, and you make it all so very fun.
And it wasn't always like this. Let me be honest with you. When I started doing weddings, my first wedding, by the way, I have to thank every coordinator that has ever trusted me with their weddings, so I could become or I could be their officiant. The very first wedding I did was at One and Only Palmilla, and I did it thanks to Emma Garcia, who now lives in Italy. But thanks to her, I'm a minister. And after that, everything just followed. But it's without people like Adriana that I could not be a minister. Without them, there's no way I could be a minister. Sure, people could find me online, but there's no way I could be a minister and have so many weddings. Now, when I started doing weddings, I was a real typical minister, very serious, very solemn. But then I added my own flavor, my own Mexican touch. And when that happened, everything turned. Everything changed for the best. Because I was able to say a joke here and there, and people felt that it was more enjoyable to do a wedding like that. Mm-hmm. And then word got out, and people started calling me more and more and more. And now, out of 100 weddings that I do, I ask the following question. I said, how would you like me to deliver your ceremony? Would you like it to be fun, romantic, or solemn? 98% of the people chooses fun and romantic. Just a few chooses to be solemn. And when they ask to be solemn, I gotta be solemn. I gotta be like, I suffer because I don't say any jokes and I don't smile and I do romantic stuff, but I do suffer because I tend to say something fun or funny during the ceremony.
I'm like that. I could be a comedian, a practical joker. So even when I'm showing property or like contacting people, I always
you gotta have fun in what you do. Otherwise, it's a boring life.
That's part of also our Mexican spark.
Yeah, that's our flavor.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's huge. We have a lot of celebrities here in Cabo. Have you married any of those?
Oh yes, I have my share. But I think Adriana has done a lot of weddings too. Ask Adriana how many celebrities she's done.
I have, but for confidentiality reasons, I really cannot tell. But yeah, I have worked for some celebrities here.
And she just mentioned one important part of the business, the confidentiality. I sign confidentiality agreements, but they have this length of time. So it's normally 10 years, the confidentiality agreements that we sign. And the ones that are already due, I can speak about. So, for example...
Okay, there we go.
For example, I did Eli Manning's wedding the quarterback for the New York Giants.
Yeah.
I did their wedding here. I did Heidi and Spencer, a very famous couple from the States, from a reality show called The Hills on MTV. And they became this huge marketing couple. I did their wedding here. And then I done quite a lot, but I like you said, I can't say yet because they're still in my contract.
I just want to point out something that Marco says, like adding your own personality to what you do is like super important. Like, of course, wedding planners, we do, it's the same process. We do the same, like we really plan wedding. It is like our job, but just adding your own personality, it makes you different. It makes you have your perfect clients. So those that you attract your clients, because you will think that brides pick you, but I think we also pick our own
That
clients.
is true. That is true because sometimes there's no match between couples and coordinators or even ministers. It's hard. It's hard to be loved by everybody and to love everybody. And when you're going to be working with them, especially the wedding coordinators, they're going to be with them for the whole trip because they will rely on their coordinators and they better have a good chemistry. Otherwise, it's going to be a miserable time. So one of the good things to do is to visit your coordinator when you want to get married on a destination place like Cabo. Come and take the time to go out with your coordinator. Invite them for dinner. Ask them questions on what their look on family, what they take on weddings. Because for some wedding coordinators, it is a job. And for some, it is a passion. Now, I happen to know Adriana for a very long time.
A very long time.
And we've done a lot of beautiful weddings, Adriana. And I have to say this. I work with every coordinator in town. I love them all. But there's a few that I pinpoint in my mind that are very good. And I love your organization. I love how you have your checklist always on time. She keeps me on point. Even though I know what I have to do, she always keeps me on point. Marco, are you ready? It's time for you to get there. Blah, blah,
Double
blah.
checking never hurts,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, well, it doesn't get old. Every event is new. And that's how I see it. And I think you see it the same way. Every event is new.
Yeah.
Let me say something about that. One thing that really caught my attention is that when I posted that, asking for recommendations, Adriana's name came like above all, a lot of them. And also your follow-up. Your follow-up was amazing. And last week and the week before, I have been so busy, thank God, with 3 offers on the go. So Cabo looks like it's booming right in everything. My thing is real estate and this show, meeting all those wonderful people like yourselves.
Thank you,
but
likewise.
the thing is that you were there sending me the text and until we can already coordinate it. So I'm a filter. I'm a filter to a lot of people that know me, watch me, and trust me with my opinion. So one thing that I notice is that how I'm treated, that's how they're going to treat my clients. So maybe you're on my top of the list.
Thank you so much. You just mentioned something very important. The word trust, it's big when it comes to picking your wedding planner or wedding vendors.
Correct, because you're away.
I always suggest to have I call it a consultation, because consultation is not about me saying what I do for them. It's just to hear their needs.
Exactly.
And then at the end, just tell them or explain them how I can help them. If you don't trust that person that called you on the phone, it's just not for you. Or your minister.
Exactly.
Or your DJ. Or your
anybody.
florist. Like if there's something that it doesn't make sense or it doesn't,
doesn't
feels
feel right
for you.
it's not
Exactly.
right.
It's just not for you.
Yeah.
So that's very important.
Okay, for one thing, people think Mexico is cheaper. Cabo, it's a luxury destination. So
yes, it is.
People need to keep that in mind because our competition, you were telling me this before we aired, it's like Hawaii, Southern California.
Yeah, Bahamas and all the luxury destinations.
So I'm a bride, and let's do kind of like a ejercicio exercise. Like I'm a bride, and I want to get married here. I have no clue about nothing. I just want to be in paradise. What would be your first question for a bride?
My first question is always, how do you envision your wedding day? That's the first question, because with that question, I will know what your priorities are. Even though you pick me as your wedding planner or not, I know
Correct.
where to focus when I work with you. And I know it's important for me to know, like Cabo, of course, it's a beach destination, but some brides doesn't want to get married like on the beach. They want a villa or they want a hotel, or they all have different like ideas and priorities. So hearing what they have to say, it's like the first question that I basically will ask.
And for you as a minister?
Well, the same thing. You gotta have the feeling. You gotta have that connection. Otherwise, it's gonna be very difficult to really express or portray what the couple wants. For example, not every couple that I marry comes to Cabo, or I have a video call or even a call. They rely on the recommendations of the coordinator. So it is very important for a coordinator to really get the vibe of the couple they're getting married. For example, if it's a young couple, the coordinator is probably not going to recommend an older fellow to do their wedding.
Exactly.
If the couple is a little older, probably the wedding coordinator will not recommend a minister like really crazy, or a DJ who just plays house music or electronic dance music. The coordinators are like, I always think of wedding coordinators like an orchestra director. They have these different elements, and she puts them together to make the best beautiful sound for their wedding. And it's very hard because in Cabo, nowadays, we have many different options for everything. We have several different options for music, for ministers, for flowers, for everything. Even venues are very different.
Yes.
And like you said at the beginning of the question, Cabo is not a cheap destination. Cabo is a luxury destination, and you can still get away with some modest prices and get married in Cabo. But most of the time, it's going to be very good services, and for good services, you got to pay top dollar for it.
We have Benjamin Alvarado. He says, my friend Marco, los bombones Trimariachi, saludos a Minister Marco.
Good people.
Elliot Ashwell. Marco did our wedding, and he was the bomb. Cabo, baby.
Yeah, Elliot is a good guy.
Awesome.
Yeah, thank you, guys. Thank you for stopping by.
How do you recommend the places that they can get married? Because like there's beautiful villas here in Pedregal. By the way, that's where we met many years ago, and we were just remembering that. Or a hotel. How do you pick? How do they choose?
So also, what it's important to know, how do you envision in terms of like if they want to get married on the beach, or if they want to get married on a private villa, but also budget is super important.
Yep, budget.
Budget will guide me to...
It all comes down to budget, right?
It all comes to budget, because that will give me I will decide what kind of vendors I suggest
Also.
and location. So location will be like the first decision for you to make if you're getting married here. And then you can select like your DJ, your photographer, and we will design like all the like the style and flowers and like everything based on that venue. So basically, yeah, budget. It's important for us to know. Some of our clients, it's hard for them to share their budget with us, but it's, I mean, if you pick a wedding planner that you trust to, you have to share like...
No, and it is also important for us to know your lifestyle. Mm-hmm. Because what if we offer you is not what you're expecting? What if you come from, I don't know, from doing weddings at the Hamptons and you want to have pretty much the same in Cabo?
Exactly.
And we throw you like a normal wedding, a package wedding from a hotel. Of course that wouldn't work, right?
Yes, exactly.
No, of course. Yeah, it's very similar what I do. I just like to sit down.
You got to read the people. You got to.
And exactly, one point is, what are your expectations?
Exactly.
What is your vision? What would you like? What is your budget? Because like you maybe want to plan something, or maybe you're trying to be very conservative,
Exactly.
and the guys can tell you, no, we'll just throw the house out the window.
Yeah, what if you go show them a villa that costs $7 million and their budget is just for a condo?
So now that you
Same
bring
thing.
that to the conversation, like, because you do real estate, when they ask me how much a wedding costs in Cabo, that's like one of the the
Toughest
questions that
to
they
answer.
do on the first interview. So what I say is like real estate, actually. It's one of the things that I mentioned because how much a wedding costs in Cabo, it's very difficult to say. Like you could have a wedding in a
it's not a set
all-inclusive
price.
hotel or a very luxury hotel like One and Only or I don't know, like
The new ones.
Esperanza
All
or
the new ones,
exactly.
the top new ones that are opening.
Or you wanna just like a very, very, I just said like simple and I don't know, like a wedding in an all-inclusive hotel or I don't know. There's so many options here in Cabo that it's very, very, very hard to say how much a wedding costs here. What I'm very, very honest and open, it's how like what vendors will charge you. That's what I can say, like because those are prices that they
Are set.
set
Yeah,
exactly.
set prices.
Like how much Marco charge for a ceremony or
Very expensive.
or DJ, like, super expensive, or DJs or florists. You know,
Not
well,
that
florist
expensive.
is very difficult because it could be like a very simple centerpiece or huge. So
Correct.
it's just hard to say.
And also the type of flowers that people would like and the type of alcohol they would like to serve.
We live in an island, per se, and everything has to be brought in.
Thank you for touching that point. That is very important.
So
because
everything expensive.
people say, why am I paying this much for this product when I buy it?
Building anything, making anything, organizing anything costs twice as much as anywhere else. Because we live right in the tip of a peninsula, which is pretty much an island. So everything has to be flown in or brought in. And it's very expensive. Everything.
That's the price for being in such a unique place.
Exactly. That's the price for paradise.
Yes, but I guess that when you get someone and they tell you where their vision is, and then you start making like, I would say like a suit to their measurements, like
like customized.
customize everything for them. Like, what would be like the like the between price
Average? That's a tough one.
It's tough. It's very tough.
Well, you can go from here to here, right?
Yeah.
You can go, from what I heard, you can go from like $3,000 to up to $700,000.
I will say like
I seen people spend a
if you want to
lot
set
of
a
money.
budget per person, I will say the minimum you need to spend here it's like about around $450 per person.
Exactly.
It sounds it's not cheap. That will give you like a very
idea.
basic wedding, to be very honest, but it's really up to what you want. It's really hard, but that will be a number that I could.
And I don't know if I could say this, but well, listen, I will say thank you.
Say whatever
thank
you want.
Dana.
Yes.
I want to say that on behalf of all the wedding vendors, and I'm happy that I was chosen to be here on your show. I just would like to say that to anybody who's watching, who is planning to get married in Cabo, everybody who does weddings in Cabo are very good. There are no bad vendors or no better vendors. I think we all work with our heart. This is an industry that we work with our feelings. It's a very unique industry because at the end of the day, it's what we deliver. We create emotions. Everybody on their different levels, on their different expertise, create moments that are unforgettable. So whether it's a minister, whether it's a DJ, obviously the wedding coordinator, whether it's a caterer or a flower expert, everybody works for the same goal, to make our couples feel at ease, to make our couples feel loved, to make our couples feel that they had the best day of their life. And even though we do so many weddings a year or per week or per month, there's no wedding alike. So every time is a new wedding. Every time is a new opportunity to deliver something beautiful. So I'm just very lucky that I'm sitting here, but I think I speak on behalf of everybody that is a vendor that has a struggle to open up their shop, to open up their own business, and to continue to be valid on this beautiful world of weddings in Cabo.
That's correct. Because like when you make a match with your clients, then everything starts to flow.
Exactly.
You know what? I do have a rule that I've made. when somebody starts bringing me down on my prices and just, when they start doing that,
it's probably not the person for you.
I know that's the right time to let it go, because normally things are not going to work out.
Yeah.
I will never be on top of like their expectations, and then just grinding your prices. And then if you're charging for something fair in price, you should stick to your guns.
Not
right?
only that, you're charging for your expertise.
Yeah, I think you're charging for your time, charging for your expertise, charging for your experience, and it's a lot of things behind the price that you put for your services. Luckily, here in Cabo, I think we have like a good range of pricing. When clients, sometimes clients like are kind of they're very shy, and they say like, oh, okay. So at the end of our interview, they say, or consultation, they say like, oh, so we're meeting like more wedding planners, and we will get back to you. And I'm like, of course, like do it, because the one you pick. What I always say is just follow your heart. Like really, I don't want to like take you as a client, because if you're not for me, you're not. Like if you like other wedding planner, it's for a specific reason. So
it's all about chemistry at the end of the day.
It's all about chemistry. Yeah.
Sometimes I had customers or clients in my other businesses that they said, we don't like you, but we needed you.
Oh my.
And I said, well, that's fine as long as you're here. But there were other ones, especially in the weddings, that said, I don't know how we could afford you, but we did it, and we're thankful that we did. And that is the greatest compliment you could get. There's people who have a lot of money and they don't care, and for them it's just a normal thing. But for those who work very hard and save money so they can have the best wedding of their life, it is truly humbling for everybody. Because you know, at the end of the day, when somebody stretch their dollar, stretch their peso because they're in Cabo.
Yes.
And you know that they work hard for their wedding. And that's when you feel very special that they choose you among all the different vendors, all the different coordinators. And again, we're not cut out to be the best for each couple. That's why there's so many different personalities, so they can choose from. But at the end of the day, it's all about chemistry. It's about how they feel.
I'm surprised how similar is what you do to, of course, different things, because you coordinate weddings, I coordinate purchases or sales. Yeah. But if there's no chemistry between me and my clients, I prefer to refer them.
They will never be. Yeah, you will let them go.
Although if the commission is really good, but probably at the end you won't get the business.
Yeah, because the hassle is going to be very hard.
And that comes through experience. Also, living here in Cabo, more than ever, I've learned the value of customer service. Mm-hmm. Here is all about the service, right?
That's why it's so expensive. That's why it's so nicely priced.
It's all about the service, and as you said, we don't compete with other destinations in Mexico. We only compete with like top destinations in the world, just because of that, because the quality, because we know our clients. Of course, services are expensive in Cabo, but are worth. Like people like us are used to treat clients like that.
And how can people contact you? Well, I will be sharing, but first step, like website and all.
So my website is it's about lovecabo.com, and it's the same on social media. It's Facebook, it's about lovecabo.com, and Instagram, it's about lovecabo.com. But yeah, share it, please. Thank you.
And I highly recommend her too. Now that I've met her, like we met each other many years ago when I used to work for the developer in Pedregal, and that was around the time that you started your business, right? And wedding planners, because I didn't see you afterwards until now that everybody in town recommended.
Well, that's where she's been working.
You know, it's funny because I was already a wedding planner. That was a part-time job, because as all business, and I want to be very honest with that, have like ups and downs. So that work helped me to actually keep doing what I love to do. And I'm happy that I met you, Everything happens for a reason.
That's correct. We have some hellos. Héctor López Zavala, saludos desde Guanajuato. Héctor López Zavala dice, I'm going to say it in English, that he follows you, he has been following you, and he's very impressed with your work.
Thank you, Hector.
And
That,
then
I hope that's for me. I'm thinking, and I don't even know if it's for me.
Gustavo
I know it's for me.
Suarez Pavon, that's very good. And so those are some of the comments we have. So you said before, what business were you before? I have to ask. I'm always so curious.
I was one of the pioneers who did websites in Cabo long time ago. So when the internet arrived to Cabo, I was among the few who opened a company to build websites. So yes, it was very important for me to have the chemistry with my client because I was going to spend a lot of time with them, learning their mindset and how to portray their mindset into their website. Excuse me. And it was hard. It was very hard sometimes to get people to even speak. And when they were nice fellows, nice people, it was easy. But when they were, when they were special, it was tough. It was really tough. And that's when I learned to let go of the people that I didn't need in my life. People who I wasn't going to have a good time with, I just let go. Even if it was good business, I would let it go.
Oh my God, I think the universe is sending a lot of messages because like for the last 2 weeks we have been talking about that and random people saying that if something is not working or it's not right, it has to go and just focus on the good.
Life is too short. Life is too short to complicate everything, even business. You have to do business with the people you feel good with.
Okay, we have a comment from Jonathan Jacob and it's in capitals. Marco is a god. That is so sweet.
Jonathan is a great guy. We met not too long ago.
Did you marry him?
No. Listen, he's a travel agent.
Okay.
And we had dinner the other day, and he was so gracious. He was so gracious because it was a fun dinner, and he's actually a travel agent for weddings. And he was doing a fam trip in Cabo. Tomorrow I'm doing a big fam trip for about 100 people, 100 travel agents. So I love doing this. I love to recommend Cabo.
And it's also, this is what I mentioned to a lot of my clients and how I was telling you guys that Ask Dana started because people would say, buy a house from me and ask Dana about this, ask Dana about that. So
nice.
When I started picking up on the internet, like the hashtags and all, I threw a hashtag in front of it and it actually worked.
I didn't know that you actually did that poll. But I guess thanks to everybody who recommended us.
Yeah. And I lost my train of thought there. Sorry. Cabo is very small, and we all know each other by reputation.
Oh, yeah, it's a family. It's just like family.
It's a family.
You know what kid is the worst, who's the smart, who's going to be a troublemaker, especially the wedding industry, right, Adriana? You probably, that we only get one chance. You only get one chance to shine. And if you mess it up, you're out.
So
you're out for good.
So I became like that bridge between people that are starting their new life in Cabo or just coming for vacations. And so it's a big responsibility also to say, you know what? I asked around, I know about this person, they would give you very good service. So it's also a responsibility. And then we create this huge network that people say like, oh, why do you charge so much? Or what is that? Because this is work.
Yes.
We built a friendship, we built a network, and then when somebody, I call it like a toolbox. When somebody needs something, okay, like travel agency or wedding planner.
You know where you could go.
And then you give your clients the information. Another thing that I do is that I don't charge anybody for
referrals.
I will recommend you if you pay me.
Correct.
I don't even ask for anybody to share it or anything. So that brings value. That is just I put it out there, the best in Cabo, and then you will pick whoever is your best match.
People will feel also when you're trying to make a buck here and there recommending people. People is not stupid. They're not stupid. They will know if you're trying to make a buck out of any recommendation.
No,
oh, yeah.
My business is that when you married a family said, like, I would like to purchase a house in Cabo, you go like...
You know what? This is actually true. A lot of people who get married...
Yeah, actually, a lot of people that got married here now own their vacation house here.
That's true.
It happens to me a lot of
wedding coordinators came to get married here they became wedding coordinators.
Yeah, exactly.
It's true.
Or purchase a house, or
Which is good,
definitely.
too.
So
We're
I can
welcoming
send you my
people.
referrals for sure.
Exactly. We're coming to the end of our show. Would you like?
That was quick.
I know. We still have like 10 more minutes, but just so you guys know, if you want to give some final thoughts or give some more information, this is your show. This is your program. Tell your
Ask
fans,
Dana, right?
Tell your fans whatever you want them to know.
No, let's start with Adriana.
Go ahead.
Okay.
You're the showman.
No, I'm not the show. No, listen.
you are.
I've been very blessed, to say the least. My life turned for the best after the weddings. Once I became a wedding minister, my life changed completely, and it was thanks to the weddings that I became a comedian. And thanks to the weddings, I traveled the world. I've been on TV. I've been on the different networks. What else can I say? I've been on Netflix. I spoke at the Oscars.
What? You spoke at the Oscars?
Yeah.
Okay, please tell us about
I've
that.
done all the several TV networks. I did Comedy Central, blah, blah, blah. So there's nothing I can say more than thanks to the weddings. And everything I do, it comes back to the weddings. And people ask me if I ever going to quit doing weddings. Weddings is my passion. Being a comedian is something I enjoy to do. And I love it. But at the end of the day, after a show, I come back home and I do my weddings. My weddings are my priority. So a lot of people has actually killed me. Some people have called looking for me, and some people said, oh, no, he's no longer alive. He's gone. He's dead. He's now a comedian. He doesn't live in Cabo anymore. He's in Hollywood, blah, blah, blah. I'm not. I live in Cabo. I love Cabo because Cabo is the greatest hub on earth. I'm 2 hours away from L.A., 2 hours from Houston, 2 hours from Mexico City. So wherever I want to go, I'm here in Cabo. And there's no place like Cabo. Living in Cabo is really, really amazing.
Don't we live in such a blessed place?
It is beautiful.
And Cabo is also, I always say, Cabo is a gold mine. If you come here with a project and that you're going to put the time and be focused and not lose your life in the party,
correct,
you can make it
huge.
huge.
Oh, yeah, party's huge here, too.
But you have to be very disciplined.
Yes.
So that is great. You know, you and I should have a comedy act together. I'm like Lucille Ball.
Oh, boy.
In Mexican.
You don't want to see my comedy.
Oh, no, I do.
I do.
Okay. How about you, Adriana?
So, being a wedding planner for 14 years now, it really becomes like my mission. Like, I enjoy doing this so much that, of course, it needs to be a business and it's a lifestyle, but also is a mission. To me, like the most grateful, what it makes me very, very grateful is like just my clients saying, like being happy at the end of the wedding and just saying that it was like the best day in their lives, and just hearing not just them, like guests and sometimes vendors say like, oh, you know, you did great. And that's hard to say because
I'm one of those vendors. When I see a good wedding coordinated, I always go to the wedding coordinator and said, you know, that was a great wedding.
That's a big compliment because vendors see like many weddings in their life. So yeah, I think I just like to do it, and I'm like just follow my heart, and I try to be very honest with my business and what I charge, what I deliver for services. So it's just that. It's just being you and being real and do the right thing always.
Yeah, I highly suggest Adriana.
That is great.
I really do, because if she gets the wedding, she'll call me. So yes, I highly suggest her.
And so one of the jokes or stuff that what you do if I would ask you
at a wedding,
like I want a funny wedding.
Oh, okay. Well, I have a lot of things that just come out, naturally, because that's part of being a minister. But one joke that I have said, that is a set joke that I know it works, and it works 100% of the time, is when everybody's quiet and we have the groom and the bride, the groomsmen and the bridesmaids all standing there. And I tell the groom, I said, let's say his name is John. So, John, why don't you do me a favor to take a look at the bridesmaids? So he looks at the bridesmaids and he goes, okay. Now take a really good look at the groomsmen. He does look at his groomsmen. And I tell them, listen, the bridesmaids, don't worry about not forgetting them because they're always going to be a part of your life. On the contrary, your groomsmen, party as much as you can tonight because tonight is your last party with them.
Isn't that true?
It is true.
Can I say something real quick? Okay, so, well, if I have time. So the first wedding that I have with Marco, I didn't know that he was a joker, that he just jokes. So, so we have everything ready. We asked guests to take their seat at the ceremony, and then I was like just passing through where Marco was in that time. And I heard that he says to the people that was in the front, I think they were like nervous, very serious. So I heard him saying like, you know what, this is the first wedding that I do.
Oh, yeah.
And I stopped and I was like, oh my God. I got like super nervous. I didn't know if it was a joke, of course. So people, I saw like the face of their guests and they were like shocked. They were like, oh my God.
Yeah,
and
sometimes
then
I
he
use
was
that
like,
one.
no, I'm just kidding. And I was like, oh.
I used to
'Cause
say that. I used to say,
didn't
no,
know.
I'm kidding, but now I let it go. I said, you know what? I'm very nervous, so please bear with me. Don't go anywhere, okay? I promise you I'll read correctly.
So it
And
was
they
my
start
first. I
getting
didn't know
nervous.
that was a joke.
Oh,
I know you were funny.
I have many jokes
but
like that.
It freaked me out, like for real.
My
I was
coordinators
like,
now,
what?
coordinators who know me now, they go like, ah.
Yeah, now I just say what I just
But you
hear
know
what
why
he
I
says
say
and
jokes?
I'm like, sure.
Because I like to break the ice of the
That is
nervousness.
a very good technique.
That's what I do.
Okay, no,
I don't want to
that's
make
great.
fun of everybody. I don't make fun of anybody. I just make fun of the moment, of some certain moments.
You know, I'm going to steal that line from you. I'm going to say, when I'm in a closing, I'm going to say, bear with me. This is my first closing.
Please don't go anywhere. Yeah,
don't
please
go
don't,
anywhere.
please
Oh, my God.
don't
that
put
would
your
be
checkbooks
so
away.
funny.
Please stay with me.
Okay. Henry Aburto says, saludos, Minister Marco Arechiga. Okay. Oh, my God. No, that is so funny. Okay, one more question.
Henry, Los Arcos, saludos, hermano.
Mothers-in-law, do you make...
Half of my routine is about mothers-in-law.
Just tell us one.
No, I'll say one, and this one is appropriate for me to say it out loud. I've been married for 26 years.
Lucky girl.
Very lucky girl. And very lucky me, actually.
I know.
No, really, because without my wife, there's no way I could be doing what I do. So half of what I do, her credit is due. So being married for 26 years, I have never given my mother-in-law a perfect gift during Christmas, right? In fact, I haven't given her anything. So I felt bad last Christmas, and I asked my wife, what is your mother into? And she goes, well, she's into Facebook and finding friends from her childhood. And I'm like, do you think they're still alive? What my wife wanted me to give my mother-in-law was a smartphone, right? So I thought, she wants to get in contact with her friends, childhood friends. Well, I bought her a Ouija board. That's the best way she can communicate.
Oh, my God.
She will need Wi-Fi. She will be available 24/7. Why not? A Ouija board.
Then your house will be haunted. Oh, my God.
That's one of the jokes that took me to Hollywood, believe it or not.
Oh, I can believe it.
Yeah.
No, I mean, you have such a great
When I
vibe.
said it
You
live,
guys
it was
have
funny.
such a
It
great...
was so funny.
One more.
One more? Oh, I have many, but I can't.
Okay, I know. When you force
I-
it, it's so. If you think of one.
Follow me. Go to ministermarco.com or watch my videos, and then you'll see everything I do.
Very smart man. We also want to say hello to Jeffrey Lujan Pruitt and Ted Wells that are watching. So, okay, so now we're coming to the end of our show. I want to thank very much Jonas Castro, our director of Radio Diferente.
Jonas is always great.
He's my jefe.
No, and Jonas has been really gracious with me ever since I met him. Sometimes I do this show in Spanish, and Jonas has been nothing but good.
Okay.
Jonas, you need to be on the video. Come on.
Sí, vente.
People need to show you. People need to see your face. Come on, Jonas.
You know that we do sometimes, and I go like, Jonas, you never show up.
Yeah.
So, él es mi jefe. This is my boss, Jonas. How are you?
Excelente.
He's a great guy.
Behind the scenes.
Gracias, Jonas.
You know, I am so lucky that we are a team, and they have welcomed me like their family.
You're in good family.
We go out, and we have the best times.
Oh, I seen
Like,
your pictures. I seen you guys party. So that's
Oh,
good.
yeah, we do have to party. We like to party. And Adrianita, muchísimas gracias.
Gracias a ti. Thank you so much for having me. I was like really, when I saw that Facebook that you mentioned before, I was shocked that so many people really recommend me.
That was nice.
Of course, Marco has like the biggest fans in the world.
No, I don't.
But yeah, thank you so much. I think just building also friendship between the community is super important. And thank you for this. Thank you so much.
Okay, so this episode I'm dedicating it to Andrea, who asked Dana, and here is the information. So I'm glad you enjoyed it. And well, thank you so much. And don't forget, we are in Solaria Development in El Tesal, and we are there Monday through Saturday through Sunday. That's my office, and we have had a great results with the condos. Like in a week, we had 3 offers, so that's really good. I'm happy with that because this is also a real estate show, so I need to promote myself in a while. Okay, so guys, you have been absolutely fabulous. Thank you so much, and I'm very impressed with you. And thank you all of you for watching. I'm Dana Jimenez for Los Cabos Home and Life.